I was driving my 3 young children one warm summer evening when a woman in the convertible ahead of us stood up and waved. She didn't have any clothes on. And as I was reeling from the shock, I heard my 5-year-old shout from the back seat, "Mom, that lady isn't wearing a seatbelt." On the first day of school, the first grader handed his teacher a note from his mother. The note read, "The opinions expressed by this child were not necessarily those of his parents." A woman was trying hard to get ketchup out of a jar. During her struggle, the phone rang, so she asked her 4-year-old daughter to answer the phone. "Mommy can't come to the phone right now to talk to you. She's hitting the bottle." The little boy got lost in the YMCA and found himself in the women's locker room. When he was spotted, the room burst into shrieks, with ladies grabbing towels and running for cover. The little boy watched in amazement and then asked, "What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen a little boy before?" It says, while taking a routine vandalism report at an elementary school, I was interrupted by a little girl about 6 years old. Looking up and down at my uniform, she asked, "Are you a cop?" "Yes," I answered, and continued writing the report. "My mother said if I ever needed help, I should ask the police. Is that right?" "Yes, that's right," I told her. "Well then," she said as she extended her foot toward me, "would you please tie my shoe?" It was the end of the day when I parked my police van in front of the station. As I gathered my equipment, my canine partner, Jake, was barking, and I saw a little boy staring in at me. "Is that a dog you got back there?" he asked. "It sure is," I replied. Puzzled, the boy looked at me and then towards the back of the van. Finally, he said, "What'd he do?" While working for an organization that delivers lunches to elderly shut-ins, I used to take my 4-year-old daughter on my afternoon rounds. She was unfailingly intrigued by the various appliances of old age, particularly the canes, the lockers, and the wheelchairs. One day I found her staring at a pair of false teeth soaking in a glass. As I braced myself for the inevitable barrage of questions, she merely turned to me and whispered, "The tooth fairy will never believe this." The little girl was watching her parents dress for the party. When she saw her dad donning his tuxedo, she roared, "Daddy, you shouldn't wear that suit." "And why not, darling?" he asked. "You know that it always gives you a headache the next morning." When walking along the sidewalk in front of his church, our minister heard the intoning of a prayer that nearly made his collar wilt. Apparently, his 5-year-old son and his playmates had found a dead bird. Feeling that proper burial should be performed, they had secured a small box and cotton batting, then dug a hole and made it ready for the disposal of the deceased. The minister's son was chosen to say the appropriate prayers, and with sonorous dignity intoned his version of what his father would always say. "Glory be unto the Father, and unto the Son, and into the hole he goes." The little girl just finished her first week of school. She said, "I'm just wasting my time." She said to her mother, "I can't read, I can't write, and they won't let me talk." boy opened his big family Bible. He was fascinated as he fingered through the old pages. Suddenly, something fell out of the Bible. He picked up the object and looked at it. What he saw was an old leaf that had been pressed in between the pages. "Mama, look what I found," the boy called out. "What have you got there, dear?" With astonishment in the young boy's voice, he answered, "I think it's Adam's underwear."